Season 3 is going to be phenomenal. We're incorporating many of your desires and questions.
If you're a couple and you're engaged or you're looking to be married to each other, you can come on this podcast and learn a lot of things about marriage, and hopefully you'll still want to be married to each other.
But, the most important thing is, we talk about getting it together, but again, you have to get it together within yourself first. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stephen and Kori and Get It Together. I'm Stephen and
I'm Kori.
Awesome. Listen, it's just really remarkable that, we're into season number 3. For those of you who may not have caught us on season number 2 or season number 1, we have been married for 40 years and we've known each other for 42 years.
Yes.
Hanging out with this chick. It's been really, really fun. Season 3 is going to be phenomenal. We're incorporating many of your desires and questions. I've been studying and looking at the analytics. And one of the things that has really, really jumped out is you folks really like the couples.
Yeah, they
do.
like
the other couples that we're having on.
Yeah, they do. And so because of that, we have put a request out for couples that we feel can benefit you. And we have quite a few requests, and we have had a lot of reactions saying, yeah, we'd love to be on. So we'll be scheduling those into season 3 so that you can get to know more people who you can probably relate to. I think that's what we're getting. The comments are, oh my gosh, them too.
Absolutely.
Or I feel so good about my marriage too. So again, this podcast is for those marrieds or those people who are looking to be married. So if you're a couple and you're engaged or you're looking to be married to each other, you can come on this podcast and learn a lot of things about marriage, and hopefully you'll still want to be married to each other.
But the most important thing is, we talk about getting it together, but again, you have to get it together within yourself first.
Yeah.
And that's an area actually we're going to be promoting and talking a little bit more about, because some people do have difficulty getting it together within themselves.
Yeah. And that's part of our life coaching. What I do when I'm life coaching is helping you get it together up here. So a lot of people, our first season, we talked about getting it together here first, and we didn't really tap deep into it because, again, this is a marriage podcast. Right. But we wanted to pull back some and let you know I will be doing videos on getting it together here. So people are like, what is get it together? It is you.
That's right.
Every aspect of you, get yourself together.
Yeah, exactly.
So that you can be a couple and then get it together,
Absolutely.
Because the it is me and the it is you.
That's right.
And when we can get ourselves to that place, there's a lot more harmony. A lot less obstacles you have to go through to get your marriage at a place of peace and your relationship at a place of joy. So,
it's pretty exciting though, to think about and reflect on some of your clients, that you've been able to coach through this process of actually getting it together, and to see their transformation.
And a lot of people will look at some of my clients and say, from the outside, no one would know, because it's the inner, it's the
absolutely.
It's the it. Yeah. So what do we do with that? Well, we help you discover who you are. Yeah. What does that mean? Who you are. There's a lot of aspects of you. Number one, we believe, and I always coach, that you are a spirit first.
Yes.
And if you don't understand you're a spirit first, think about what makes you unique.
That's good.
That's your spirit man, because this is a flesh body.
That's good.
And there's some bones in there too. And there's some ligaments. But what makes you create, what makes you express is your spirit man.
That's strong.
So let's get it together and find out what makes me unique. We help you find out. I love to help people find out what makes them unique, because sometimes they forget. Yeah. It's not like they never knew, but sometimes you can forget. And also, your creativeness, where does your creativity come from?
Well, and the other thing I want to mention too, just to interject, what's exciting is when you understand this whole concept of who you are within the context of this conversation, it helps you in each of the seasons of your life as you're going through. I know that when, we were raising our girls and Kori was a stay-at-home mom, she knew who she was in that role.
Yeah, in the season.
In that season.
Yes. And
Makes a difference.
It does. And to add to that, the creative of you, because I created the mom that I wanted to be.
That's right.
I didn't really
with no regrets, by the way.
Right. And with
no regrets.
And a lot of you out there will say, well, you know, our marriage, we have these friends who's a couple who just got married. Before they got married, she lived on one level of a rental house and he lived on another level of the rental house. They were dating, but they lived in their own space. Yeah. Well, guess what? They got married and they still have their own space. And I said, but that's your marriage. You created that.
They're supposed to be together, right?
Well, sometimes they are, but they still have the space. They still decide to rent the top floor and the lower floor, and they have their space in case
that's unique.
They need a break.
Yeah.
But that's their marriage, not yours, not anyone else's. They dwell together, they live together. They just happen to still have their own space.
That's
so
good.
Again, understand you're creative, whatever it may be. Stems from your spirit. Your creative stems from your spirit. How you become creative, that's what we help you find out. Yeah. It comes from within. Yeah. Within to without. It's never without comes in. Exactly. The only time without comes in is criticism, because you didn't grow up. Every child says, I'm the best. Every child says they're the greatest. I'm beautiful. I'm the best, until something without comes into them and tells them any different. So we bring you back to that. And that's what we're going to discuss. I'll be doing these little segments by myself. You'll see me at this desk by myself without him here, talking about life coaching and the different areas in your life that you can develop on your own so you can get it together.
Part of this also is about discovering what makes you tick.
Yeah.
What makes you tick? What are the unique qualities of who you are that drive you as like an algorithm in the background, okay, that are driving literally everything you think, everything you do, your desires, your goals, your dreams? What is that? And
here's the thing. What makes you tick? What makes you happy? What makes you sad? What's thought-provoking inner perspective that you have that makes you tick? Yeah. What's tick mean? Tick, tock, tick. Move. Makes you move. Makes you who you are. Think about that. What type of happy things? I just told you I love dogs. I love the outdoors. Those are a part of.
I love motorcycling.
He does. Discover what that makes him tick. We just did a motorcycle run, 65 miles one way, and then we came back, and that makes him tick. It just is a joy. What makes me tick? That makes me sad when people lose an animal. Oh, yeah. When people lose the loss of it, but that makes me tick, meaning I can pour into them. It makes me sad, so I want to reach out to them. What makes you tick sad would be anything that causes you sadness, not anger, sadness, because that's part of your tick. And it's okay to have sadness as long as you understand where it comes from and why. Exactly. You know, it's not the anger, it's the sad. Also, what sets you off in a tangent? So, okay, that would be anger or joy. What sets you off? You have to know that about yourself. Again, we help you do that. I love helping people do that so they can avoid those.
It's like, what are your triggers? What
triggers you? Yeah. So you know what to avoid. You know what conversations to avoid. You know what people to avoid, even if you have to work with them, or if they're in your company, or if they're in your life, if they're a family member, you know how to measure yourself because it's important for you. So that's something that we discuss
and the other thing I was just thinking and listening to you is it's really important to listen to yourself. I'm so reminded there are times when she'll get up in the morning and have plans to do something, but her body and her mind is telling her something totally different. And amazing. It's so interesting how she'll listen to that and maybe sometimes change the entire course of her day.
Yes.
You're good at that.
Thank you. And I've learned to become good at that because I coach it. So I better be good. But it's also important to be aware.
Be aware. Right.
Be aware. If you're not sensitive to yourself, who else do you think is going to be sensitive to you?
Yeah.
You have to take care of you. There's this saying that, give out. In order to give out, you have to pour in.
You have to be refreshed.
You have to be refreshed. You have to pour in so that you can pour out.
That's good.
And if you don't pour in a dry cup or a dry ocean or a dry river, a dry bed is no use to anyone. Nothing thrives in dryness except for scorpions and snakes and eagles, which kill everything else, vultures. So understand you have to stay filled. Your cup has to stay filled. And it's up to you to do that. It's not up to him to do it for me. It's up to me. Here's the thing though, your family and your spouse, your partner, they need to understand that you need that too, because guess what? They need it also. So it's best for them to do the same thing. How great would that be if you could be an example to the rest of your family? They could say that.
I'm listening to her and I'm just kind of reflecting on, these are not just words. This is really how she operates.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a tremendous person who curates information and then disseminates it in a way that you can actually grab hold of it, because she actually does it it's very systematic,
Yeah.
very fact-based. Okay, let's go one, go two.
Yeah.
You know,
So
you're really good at that.
Thank you. Something about me that he laughs at is I'm chronological.
Yeah, she is.
Don't tell me a story and say, oh, I forgot about, no, give me the story, and that's what makes me tick.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's what works with her and her clients as well.
Yes, very
because she
chronological.
brings them back,
Mhm.
okay, step by step.
Yeah.
Right?
You have to have a base before you have to have a foundation or base before you can build upon.
Right.
So and that's me, I'm chronological. The other thing I am though is I study. So here's a word that people use all the time. They're so dumb. I'm like, what does that word really mean? So before your mouth speaks those words that are so powerful,
Yeah.
so powerful. That's something in life coaching that I love to tell people. Your words are so powerful. If you say dumb or stupid or fat or idiot, no, go in the dictionary and find out what that means before you speak it.
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to say somebody's dumb, because dumb means they can't speak. What are you speaking over somebody?
Yeah, that's good.
Know what the words mean. Or they're gorgeous, they're beautiful, they're so smart, they're intelligent, they look, whatever it is, watch your words, because your words are powerful and they're powerful for you. Tell yourself you're beautiful. If you don't feel like this is beautiful, tell yourself something beautiful about yourself. Let's see, I'm kind. I know I'm kind. I'm kind to a fault sometimes. Like Stephen says, I'm so kind, but you cut me a couple of times and you're done.
Yeah.
Done. But here's the thing.
True.
I shouldn't say but. And as being kind, I love kindness. When I see other people, what you discover you
She's
are,
right
when you find it in other people, you're like, oh, that's me too. Have you heard people, oh, we're just like this. That's me too. It helps in your life discovering who you are. So here's another question. Where do your opinions come from?
Yeah, true. Well, that a lot of times comes from your consciousness.
Yeah, your experiences, whether they're negative or positive. We walk through that. Why do you have an opinion about something? Tell me what the story is. Stephen was always so good. If somebody came to him with something negative, he'd say, "You've got a story. Can I hear your story?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" "Oh no, you've got a story." Well,
everybody has one.
Everyone has a story, and everyone says this. I'll take my story instead of yours. Because once you hear somebody's life book, it's like, no, it's okay. I'll take mine. I take mine. Right?
Exactly. So by the way, what's your story?
Yeah.
What is your story?
And that's what we cover. What's your opinions? Where do they come from? What's the experience that gave you the positive or negative of that opinion? Because it's opinion. Everybody's got them. And then your upbringing, what your family, friends, and the others that we talked about. What is that upbringing like? Yeah. What were you around? So again, we reiterated that, but we just want you to know that we're excited for this season. I'm really excited because I'll be doing these on my own without my buddy here and my partner, my buddy, my husband. Sometimes, not all the time. No, just the life coaching sections that we bring to you. And if you have any questions about those, please let us know. By the way,
everybody has a coach. Okay. Yeah. Tiger Woods, as phenomenal as he is as a golfer, guess what? He has a coach. And that is something that we have always, fans of is having someone to direct you and give you advice and counsel.
Yeah, because we've all come from something. I can tell you, when I life coach with someone, I let them know where I've come from too. Not everybody wants to hear your story, but some people want to know, can you relate to what I'm saying? Right. And if I can relate to what someone's saying, I'm going to tell them my story. Because nobody's a superhero without going through something.
Absolutely.
And so if you're even a coach is going to tell you some bad stories about his history or her history too, just so you know, I've been there. And that's what I love about working with clients is they understand that I'm no superhero. Okay. I'm just them, just on the other side, Yeah.
But you have tremendous wisdom and experience. And I think that's one of the things that resonates with most of your clients is you're easily relatable.
Thank you.
Okay. And you never exalt yourself above anyone. No. It's one of those things people constantly say they feel so comfortable with you and they feel great opening up with you. That's really important.
It is. It is. I have to say the thing that I enjoy the most is when people discover their gifts and their talents.
Yes.
Because I've had clients that are walking in one area of their life and then their life changes And guess what? They have to move in another direction. It could be professionally, it could be their living, it could be their relationships, but they've had to shift.
Well, you know, it's interesting as I've watched as this practice has evolved, maybe you can speak to how you've actually been able to distill down into basically two different categories of the help that you give.
Yeah, that's good. You'll see on our website, I have two different coaching packages, and I'm not here to promote I'm just talking to you like I'll be talking about getting it together first. And so we have Reclaim Your Power Within. A lot of people lose their power within.
They've essentially, part of the thing is that their power within has been detonated. That voice inside has gone quiet as a result of as they've moved through seasons in their lives.
And too much outer influence. So a lot of these people that come to me to reclaim their power within, again, go back to the basics, but sometimes it's an igniting. And sometimes it's around the corner. It's right there. Okay, wait a minute. It's still there. It's not dead. It's just been screened in front of me with all this other stuff. I just had to get rid of this stuff. And sometimes it's dead, and we've got to reignite it, bring it back up. And then we also have discovery of your gifts and purpose. One thing that I tell each client that uses the package of discovery of your gifts and purpose, one thing I love about that is your gifts. There's a scripture in the Bible that says your gifts will make room for you.
Yes,
your gifts
absolutely.
will make room for you. We have a client who was gifted in one area. She retired from that, and we helped her find her gifts and her purpose. And she is blooming in her gifts. And she's tremendous in these. And it took some of the gifts that she had in her previous career, but now she's doing it for herself instead of being employed by someone. She's doing it herself, and she loves it, and she's flowing with it because she discovered her gifts and the purpose for her gifts. And a lot of times, you have said this before, every company is not going to be looking at your purpose.
That's right.
They're not going to be looking, they might be looking at the gift going, no, she's really good at that, or he's really good at that. But they're not looking at your purpose. Your purpose for them is to work for them.
Well, absolutely. And you mentioned company, and that's the other thing I think sometimes that subordinates, how in terms of us understanding who we really are, is because people get segmented and pigeonholed into essentially what they do. Okay. So if let's say you own a plumbing company, you think to yourself, I'm a plumbing business owner. Not really. I mean, that's part of who you are. Okay. Or, what if you are some, business executive, vice president of global sourcing or something like that? That's still not who you are.
Right. Yes.
Maybe you can speak to that. Some of the.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You have a gift and you want to say, this is my gift. I happen to use it for this company. But my gift can be used for any other aspect of my life.
Right.
Because this is who I am.
Right.
I can do this for a company, and I can do this on my own.
Yes.
And one thing I love is when I get business owners who are clients, and they want their whole organization, their companies, to understand their gifts and their purpose, because it makes the company stronger.
It makes the company thrive.
And the people are so grateful to the owner because they're like, you actually want me to use my gifts and my talents. Right. You want me to use my gifts and my talents for a purpose, to make this company
increase profitability. When you invest in your people, which are your greatest asset, that's why it's called human resources. These people are human, and they're a resource to your business.
Right.
And as you sow into that, the benefits that you get back are infinite. Literally infinite.
Then more people can pull into that vision statement because they're using their gifts in that vision.
Right. In fact, one of the best things you can actually do if you're a business owner is invest in your people. You probably know that, but we're just sort of reiterating that, right?
Yes. So something that Stephen does that we don't talk a lot here is he's a business advisor, and he gets to go around the country advising businesses and experiencing. If you guys have never seen what TV show would you compare yourself to?
Probably The Prophet, or maybe like Bar Rescue, that kind of thing.
He goes into companies that request someone to come in and help them fix their company. And so he uses
I typically go in and analyze the company more from a profitability standpoint, productivity standpoint, that kind of thing, and come up with a list of recommendations in terms of helping that particular client achieve their personal and business.
So in those services that are offered, we find that a lot of clients are either or. When it's a team, it can be both, but the joy is that people are discovering how to get it together. So whether that's get it together for a team, or get it together for a partner or a spouse or a business partner. It's so important that you understand the value of who you are. That's what's on our mugs. You can see our S&K mugs. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it says helping you understand the value of who you are, because it's so important. When you know your value, it helps bring you to a level of, I am appreciated. I bring something to the table. I am important because I am valuable. In closing, we want you to know that this season 3 is going to be unique. And we love adding things on that you have requested. So we're adding more couples on. We're adding on the life coaching segment. And it's a joy. You see my thoughts from the chair. Those are little shorts. And Stephen's doing more of his own lifestyle activities. So you'll see more of those too. We just welcome you and ask you to come along on the ride with us.
Like, subscribe, okay?
And share.
Share.
Yeah, we're on everywhere. You'll see the listing of where we are down below. And just want you to know that we're with you when you're with us. Take care.
Take care.
Till the next one, we'll see you later.
We'll see you on the next one.